Hey guys, I'm back again and I'm here to do a review of L'Arabe du Futur. Okay, this is written by Riyad Sattouf and it is the story of his family life, but it only covers about like the first 6 years of his life. The book is 158 pages. And it is beautifully published because you have in the front, like, you have those French flaps with the flags. And then in the back, you have the flag. And then you have this bull, which when you read the story, you know more about what that bull is. This story is told in 4 chapters. The beauty about this book is the way it is drawn. So the first part, when you're in Libya, is in this kind of yellow-orange color. The blue is when they're in France. And this pink is when they're in Syria. So this really is taking place when Libya was being ruled by Gaddafi and the Syrians were being ruled by Hafez al-Assad. Now, the thing about the story is Riyad Sattouf is drawn as a blonde boy with long curly hair. And as we follow this family through their constant movement to these different countries, this long blonde hair is basically something that everybody has to comment on, but also they make comments that are like very strange. The story begins with his parents meeting in Paris. His father was studying in France, and that's where he met his Riyad's mother, who is French. They soon fall in love, and then Riyad comes along and they move first to Libya. From there, you see a series of cultural differences between France and Libya, and then also between the idea of what people know about Libya at the time as to what is actually going on there. There's probably a real big difference. And the thing that makes it the most interesting is the fact that we learn a little bit more in-depth detail about life, everyday life in these countries through the eyes of Riyad as a child. So everything is very honest and to the point and is not really glazed over. He really tells you the way it is. And I must admit, I really enjoyed reading this book because of that fact that I did learn more things about this period in Libya and in Syria. And I have visited Syria before. When I was living in Cairo for 3.5 years, I took 1 week with my husband and we went to visit Syria, and we absolutely loved the place. We thought it was just absolutely beautiful. The people just really nice, and it just has everything. The countryside was, rolling hills of green, and then you had these desertic areas, and then you had the forest. Really wonderful place. Now, if I talk about the things that I didn't like about this book, there's one thing that bugged me more than anything else was the fact that his mother was not given a bigger role in the book. Now, she is visually on most of the pages in the book, but she basically doesn't really talk that much, doesn't have an opinion on very much, and is almost treated as if though she's a secondary character. The majority of the story revolves around Riyad and his father, and I'm assuming this was done on purpose, but I'm not really sure why. That was disappointing because some of the positions the family gets put in, I find it very strange that the mother doesn't say a lot. I think there's only 2 instances where the mother actually protests about things in this entire 158-page book. But now, this book is, as you can see, book 1, which means there will be a part 2. I'm not sure when this is coming out. I'm sorry for all of my Anglophone watchers. This book has not yet been translated into English. It was just released in May 2014, so I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. As for those that are Francophone, go out and pick it up. I picked this one up at Leclerc, and that was how much I paid. 1985, I think it was. And yeah, very worthwhile to read. Now, as far as knowing more about Riyad Sattouf, he is actually writes comics in the newspaper Charlie Hebdo, and he also directed, I think he directed a movie that was really famous here called Les Beaux Gosses, which I think is translated in the French as The French Kissers. And this movie got a lot of press, and it was very popular at the theater. And that was the first film I think he directed, maybe the first or second film he directed. So most people know Riyad Sattouf from his comics over Charlie Hebdo. So that's pretty much his popularity. But he has written more comics in this style. This comic in particular reminded me more of Marjane Satrapi, Persepolis. And a lot of French people say that Sattouf reminds them of Guy Delisle. And you know, I have done a review on Guy Delisle's Chronicles of Jerusalem. So that's all I have to say about this book. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. And yeah, it's really worthwhile picking up. Bye.